People, welcome back to Eagle-Eyed Football. Yes, I'm not rich, but you're a regular man right here. You're a regular co-host in Eagle-Eyed, Nate, man. Big up, Nate. Thanks for helping here, co-hosting with me. How you feeling, bro?
Bruv, what can I say? We've got Super Pat Vieira. You know what it is? You know what it is? The pain of that defeat to Everton washed away. The fury of that defeat to Everton washed away. And listen, if you'd have said to me you'd finish 12th in the league, FA Cup semi-final, positive goal difference, and you'd see some academy players blooded through the course of the season, I'd have gone, what are you smoking? Hold on. What are you smoking? We don't do that at Palace. But no, listen, being real, cracking season. Shame that we couldn't quite push into the top 10, but hey, there's always next year.
Exactly. Or onwards and upwards as it's looking like for Palace, but we'll get right into that with much more detail when we begin the show. But big up everyone in the comments who's locked in right now. Brush with his popcorn emoji, realist, up in the place, CM. And we got Calden in here, Vieira the GOAT indeed. And then Louis is also here too. Big up you guys, and hit the link for the call-in show, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, is there. So feel free to come and discuss, talk about your club. We'll be running for at least an hour, at least. So yeah, feel free, people. And we've got our first caller in here right now, and it's a Canadian gooner right here in Moss. How you doing, Moss? Are you there? Oh, Moss, can you turn your TV down, please, before you get before the channel gets copyrighted and those things there. Make sure it's on mute so there's no background noise. But yeah, so big up everyone. Yes, I have just done 2 streams. It's a calling show. Moss, are you gonna come on now? Nope, still got sound in the background. But we'll start off with you, Nate. Talk to us about Palace a little bit more. We spoke about it being a positive.
We're having some technical issues here, people. Just bear with us.
We've got issues all over the place. But yeah, look at that. Even really saying, come on, Zaha. You know what I mean? So that just shows a lot about Man United season as a whole. Moss is, Philip Mossfield. I don't know where he is. He there? Is all the sound off and everything? So we can go? No, the sound's still on there. Sound's still on. Can't get this channel copyrighted, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're in big trouble if that's the case. It'll be me. I'll be the one taking the fall.
There we go.
Nate is back. Here we are. Yeah. So I was talking about Crystal Palace having an onwards and upwards season. Talk to us about the story of it all from the beginning.
Well, the story is basically Roy Hodgson leaves end of last season. Kind of right time to go because he'd done the firefighting job he was brought in to do. Yeah. He kept the club up with very, very limited resources. Didn't really get to spend a whole bucket load of money and sign his players. He pretty much worked with what he had. Obviously, to be fair to his credit, he did blood through Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who of course would go on to join Man United for a whopping 50 million. Still can't believe they paid that much for him, but we move. And then obviously the attention turns to, well, who's the next man for the hot seat? And the first name on the shortlist was Nuno Espirito Santo. Obviously, we'd seen what he did at Wolves. And I was like, okay, not terrible. It's not George Burley again, so I can kind of get behind this. And that fell through. Like, okay, that's not shocking because it is Palace and things don't go to plan. But we'll see who's next in the hat. Then it was Steve Cooper, who's obviously done a fantastic job at Nottingham Forest. But at the time, touching a manager at Swansea, it was like, for every one that it works, there's about 5 that don't. And I have a fear that he would have been one of the latter. Now, credit to him, he's done a phenomenal job at Forest. And if he brings them up, I'll be the first to eat humble pie and say fair play to Steve Cooper. But
if you watched the Crystal Palace preview with Man United, even Nuruddin said it himself. This place, it's no holds barred. Do you know what I'm saying? So
listen. If you put yourself out there, you will get bannered. It is what it is. But no, So the next name on the list was Lucien Favre, of course, who had a very good spell at Borussia Dortmund. That was meant to be all agreed, and it was all meant to be, wrapped up in a nice little red and blue bow, and that fell through. That's like, this is getting irritating. Natives fuming Palace missed out on Lampard. No, see, as good as Lampard was as a player, and he's done well at Everton as a manager. I'd have Vieira's football over Lampard's hoof it long football because, you Burnley in disguise. And listen, fair play to Everton. Fair play to Everton. No, with Favre, right? It was meant to be okay. Lucien Favre, a great manager, did very well at Dortmund. This, that, the other. That fell through. So then Patrick Vieira's name is put in the mix, and you're like, Patrick Vieira. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I don't need to tell you who this guy is, so you're thinking the same as me. You're like, okay, interesting, but he gets announced, and his first interview made me think, okay, yeah, this is the right pick. The chairman's got it right, because one thing about Steve Parish that a lot of people don't realize is that because he's a fan, he doesn't want to put anything in jeopardy when it comes to the football club, because obviously we faced administration about 12 odd year ago now, and he was the one who helped save the club with 3 others. Bloody hell, Moss, you're getting cooked. Good Lord.
No. Everyone has a cooking session. Yo,
mate, you know what it is? If he's not careful, he'll end up like that, right? Like the rice and peas.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if that is here.
That bun up pot of rice and peas. You know that one's fun.
I remember that one. Oh man.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Go ahead.
Now, carry on. What was you saying, my bro?
I was just saying, Vieira comes in, pre-season's looking good, and then we play Chelsea first game of the season, 3-0 defeat. Couldn't really argue with it, but we gave it our best. We lost 3-0 to Chelsea, no disgrace. Brentford, 0-0 draw. On the face of it now, I'm thinking, boy, some teams actually got packed by Brentford, so I'll take a 0-0 draw. Like that. I mean, bear in mind, they drew at Liverpool 3-3 at their place. Obviously, this was at our place. West Ham a 2-2 draw. And then the big one, the biggest win that we've had all season, apart from beating Arsenal. Sorry, T, but no, that win over Spurs, the first win under Patrick Vieira, was huge because there was all these Frank de Boer comparisons. It's like, oh, wow, so we're going to go back to that, are we? See, Patrick Vieira didn't try to isolate the squad. That's what Frank de Boer did. That's why de Boer flopped. Not just at Palace, but at Atlanta, after that. But, beat Spurs 3-0. Then there's a couple of results that, here or there. Some were great, some not so great. And then Vieira goes and beats Man City away from home, and you're thinking, we don't do this. If we beat City, it's squeaky bum 3-2. Townsend has to pull a worldie out of his arse, and we're hoping to God they don't unleash hell upon us. Nah. After a while, results pick up. Then the FA Cup season kicks in, and you're thinking, who are we going to get? Who are we going to get? It's Millwall. Oh, shit. Now show us the real draw. That can't be the real draw. Hold on. Show us the real draw. This must be the rehearsal. You know that they always get, this team came out in the rehearsal. Nah. So the FA Cup kicks in, 3rd round, cool. 4th round, cool. 5th round, cool. Quarter final. What the? We don't go this far. We don't even get past the 3rd round. Semi-final, yeah, we lost, but we got further than some of the so-called big teams out here. So stuffed a lot of you that didn't make it to the semis because we did. Like that. But listen, if you'd have said to me, Vieira will be our manager, we'd play a positive brand of football that's got a lot of people talking, and I'd be laughing and I'd be happy of performances rather than going, I've got to explain these dickheads to people who are going to banter me all week now. This is going to be great. It's just so, you know what it is? It's so strange being positive about Palace. Because I like being pessimistic about Palace. So now I've got to flip it 180. It's like, I don't like this. This isn't what we do. But listen, cracking season, and hopefully, a good summer for us. But let's talk a little bit more about other teams because I don't want to talk about Palace too much.
That's all right, my bro. We got Mania's in the place, and also we're sending that United preview. I think Mania went missing for a little bit, but you could most certainly find Mania up on my channel in the comments when Arsenal lost to Newcastle. But how you doing, man? Talk to us about Manchester.
We are a small club. That's all I can say.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, man. It's stupid because I put myself in that situation of thinking I can't be shocked anymore. And when I had my hopes up for the last two games of the season against Brighton and against Crystal Palace, and then 4-0, I was shocked. I couldn't speak for like 2 days. I was depressed. So that's why I went missing, and I also had final exams. But man, we're a small club, zero ambition, zero talent. Uh, who the hell is Bruno Fernandes compared to Kevin De Bruyne or Thiago or even Martin Odegaard at Arsenal? Who are these players? We have zero talent at the club. Um, I I hope that Eric Ten Hag can do anything good, but honestly, I have no faith anymore. And you'll find me watching League One football with Derby County next season just to see Waza.
You see, that's a damning indictment of what's happening at Man United right now. And CM, I know I speak to you a lot, my bro, and I know you're in kind of agreement in a way with how Man United season has gone and ended in a 1-0 defeat to Crystal Palace. To talk to me, man.
Hey, you know what? At this point of the season, I'm not shocked, bro. Like, every performance that goes by, I'm more shocked when we actually win a game, when we score multiple goals in a game, because that's how far we've fallen as a club. I feel like from top to bottom, and it's not just 1 year, 2 years. This has been almost a decade now of just poor leadership from top to bottom, bringing in personnel who lack the character, who lack the dedication to put on the shirt every other week. Appointing managers who don't fit the culture of the club, and then end up when things go wrong. Of course, it's the manager's fault. It's the players' fault also, but not enough blame has been put on the board by the whole fan base. There have been moments where, the board have been lit up like in summers when things have gone horribly wrong. But in the end of the day, once the season starts again, everybody's off the owners, everybody's off the Glazers, the board members. And once again, it's over to the pitch, the players and the manager, whereas everybody needs to get an equal amount of the flaming, because everybody's a part of the problem. And, I see Manchester United fans trying to clutch onto straws when they're speaking about optimism around the people that should have been gone a long time ago in the backroom stuff, in terms of scouts, board members, players who are leaving this summer. But that needs to happen on a consistent basis. We are yet to have proof that that is going to be the case. We have seen the Glazers change when they have been absolutely in the firing point, and then they've switched right back to what they've been doing for 10 plus years now, since they've started to own the club, since they took over the club. So I am not confident in any change. It doesn't matter whether we switch a manager. It doesn't matter which players go in. In the end of the day, I've seen poor recruitment, not just by bringing in managers, but bringing in players time and time again every year. I've seen board members who lack the intelligence to know what goes on and how to create a successful and peaceful environment on the football pitch and within the club. So what is there to really be happy about as a Manchester United fan until you see the change right in front of your eyes on the football pitch?
I think that's the main problem with Manchester United is our fans don't realize how big of a problem we are ourselves, because the board is chasing short-term success for the last 10 years, but so are we. Every time we want to win the league, we have never settled down and want to build a team. We always want fast success, and we've been a part of the problem ourselves. And CM said it himself. When they tried to do the Super League, we went at their throats and they changed, and then they went back doing the whole same thing over and over again. That's what's happening, because all of us are idiots at the start of the season. And unfortunately, it's just going to be the same thing forever. I don't see any change anytime soon.
And look at people. It's not a fire drill. Hamza is here. He's here live in the flesh. Big up, my bro. You know what?
Big up, Hamza.
How you doing, Hamza, man?
Oh, everyone. Oh, you can hear me, right?
Yeah. Oh, I can hear you now. That's perfect. I think that's good.
Yeah, you can hear me now.
Yeah, there's a little bit
jumpy.
A little bit nipping.
Yes, a little bit.
That would be okay. That would be okay.
Yeah, I think we're
Always.
good. Yeah, go on. Talk, my bro.
Yeah, just on what Sam said, like I definitely agree 100% because like we've let the board go away with it, but like with with the um with the change, like I feel like I understand people who don't trust the process, or don't trust the Glazers of what they're doing, or not trusting the board. I get 100%. But for me, I'm absolutely confident that within two seasons we might be like, I don't know, challenging for titles because like I know it's tough to believe, but I think that process is not gonna take that long because like Ralf Ragnick and the board and Eric Ten Hag, they come in here and they know what they want exactly. Jurgen Klopp came in, Pep Guardiola within two seasons knew what he wanted. Jurgen Klopp, like he might have taken a couple, he might have taken a lot of time, but I think like he didn't have the full backing of the board because the board weren't that don't have that kind of ki- kind of an footballing board behind him. So I think that we have a bit of a more a uh, better structural club, a better structural recruitment, and better structural management and stuff like that. So for like, I think um, we could like within two seasons actually see what Man United can go, and I feel like next season is gonna be how we're gonna see how Eric Ten Hag is gonna implement his style, what kind of players he wants, what type of what players he will bring in because this transfer window is gonna be really interesting. There's something I don't know what you're laughing about. Uh,
Nah, you're all right now. Yeah, you started off with a little bit of bad Wi-Fi, but it's all good now. Carry
No,
on, bro.
no, Hamza, it's the comments.
It's the comments.
They're taking you apart, bro.
Rose the problem.
Let-
Anyway,
Hey, Hamza, you see the part where you said you think there are better personnel in those areas of recruitment and stuff like that. I'm gonna ask you a question. 'Cause I'm not completely sold on that, just due to the fact that we have the likes of John Murtough, who was previously in a club in another position. We all know about the situation where it's jobs for the boys, employing and promoting people that are already in-house and don't have much experience in those crucial footballing areas. You give Darren Fletcher that position, he's inexperienced. John Murtough in that position, he's inexperienced. Richard Arnold taking over from Ed Woodward, even though Ed Woodward's still within the club as a consultant. So it's almost like he's passing on his knowledge to Richard Arnold, which is crazy to think about. So I wouldn't agree with that personally in terms of having football personnel, because my idea of that is, for example, we were linked with guys like Paul Mitchell for the director of football. That didn't happen. That's a football in mind. For me, we're still going down the route of employing, whether it be former legends or people that are in-house within the club, trying to put them in a job and hope that they are successful. But do they truly have that experience to spur on Manchester United, help out Eric Ten Hag in those scouting departments, in those recruitment departments, when it comes to creating the perfect contracts and the right contracts being handed out to new signings and players within the club? Are we going to have that, or is it just going to be a repeat of what's been happening all of these years?
Hamza, I wish I can go back in time and see what you said when we hired Jose Mourinho, what you said when we hired Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what you said when we hired Louis van Gaal. I'm more than positive you're one of those Manchester United fans that just think that when a manager change happens, the whole world is going to change and we're going to suddenly win league titles again. I will tell you straight up right now, 99.9999999% Eric Ten Hag will be a failure at Manchester United. Not because he is a failure, but because the people around him are, the players are, sort of the fans are too. I'm including myself in that too, and I have no faith that he will change anything in the club. I hope he will, but don't be surprised if he doesn't. Basically, be surprised if he does.
Interesting. Do you know what? I just to say, and then I'll let you answer that as well. I'm a little bit in the middle between both of you, Hamza and CM and Mania, in the fact that I do think there is some positive signs that you're seeing that are being changes that are being made. I also hear CM's point about the lack of experience that's coming in certain positions. So yes, you're seeing change, but is it the right change in terms of the structure? But for me, I think you're seeing fresh ideas being put into the club, which is what you've lacked for a long time. Yes, with an experience comes mistakes and those things, and it's not going to be one transfer window. I think you hit the nail on the head there, CM. And in terms of Ten Hag as well, Mania, Ten Hag, he's bringing those fresh ideas. It's a new manager that you haven't seen take over the club, because since Ferguson, you brought in David Moyes, you brought in Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, Ole Gunnar
Solskjaer, Ralph Rangnick.
Yeah, these are managers. Apart from Ollie, these are managers that are very experienced, seasoned, and they're going to be thinking, right, I deserve this, I deserve that, and then the whole different part of the board. It's a completely different manager. But Hamza, what was you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like there's something different going on. Like, I think this manager's serious. Like, it's a different type of manager, and it's not like every single summer where we're being linked to like basically everybody. Realizing this season that we're just being linked to some players that Eric Ten Hag wants, and at the same time is a player where he wants a player for his system, and like we're not being linked to like last summer we got Ronaldo, Varane, and what we got again, I can't remember, but like this
Tom
summer.
Heaton.
What?
Tom Heaton. We got Tom Heaton.
Yeah, Tom Heaton. Anyway, like this season we're being linked to Frankie De Jong, but there are different types, like this left back from Feyenoord. Those types of players, like we're being linked to different players, and I feel excited because I have full faith in Eric Ten Hag that he could do something, because when we get back to when we were linked to him, we would never think that the board would assign Eric Ten Hag because of how good he is, and at the same time, what he wants behind him. So that for me was a key point to Eric Ten Hag coming, is because like he won't come in without him having faith that he could change the team, and at the same time uh, do changes at the football club. So for me, I think the process would definitely take time. I'm saying 2 years because I think in 2 years' time we'll be a serious team. I won't say we're gonna win the Premier League and Champions League. I would say we're gonna be a bit more serious. So that's that's basically why, and I think Eric Ten Hag will do an amazing job. We just have to be patient and get behind him, because I think it's gonna be a bit of a long process. But we as a fan base wanted him, so we're gonna have to be patient with the decision that we wanted and with his decisions.
Hamza, can I ask you just a quick question, please? Do you think Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, David Moyes, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thought they can change the club when they first signed?
Yeah, they thought they would, but they didn't get the full backing. They
Then what's
didn't
the difference now?
they didn't have the structural reset that we had this summer. So I think Eric Ten Hag is gonna get the players he needs, because if he doesn't get the players he needs, he's gonna expose them, because he came in with restrictions, and he would have accepted the job without him having those instructions needed. So, like, listen, I get your point, and I understand the frustration around the fan base, but like, at the same time, I feel like there's a change, and there's gotta be positivity. Like, there's gotta be positivity, and we all as a fan base have to get behind this man. Whatever, we don't agree with signings, he might get Richarlison, which we all hate, but we're gonna have to stick with him. Gonna have to back his decision. We're gonna have to be patient. Is what I'm saying, and I think like even if you don't agree with it, you're gonna have to stick with it. You're gonna have to be patient with it. So yeah, like
Patience is more than 2 years, just to let you know, my guy.
Yeah. T.
Yo.
Let's talk about Arsenal just to change it up a little bit because I think we stay on United too much. These men will start crying and get hella depressed. So talk to
Yeah,
me about the Gunners. About the Gunners.
I didn't watch the game today, by the way. I watched Brighton. I was waiting for Brighton to win, but like,
Hamza, stop swearing for the love of God.
Oh,
Enough
yeah.
swearing.
Come on, you remember where you're at. Yeah, come on, Hamza. You
I
can't
swore.
say the. You
I
can't say
swore.
the B. You can't say the
Hey,
B
it's-
word.
Don't be
it's
saying that B word
seaweed.
on the channel. Don't be saying the B
Relax.
word, mate.
Hey, Hamza, relax. Yeah, relax yourself, bro.
Tell him, no. Tell him.
Tariq,
tell him.
before we move
Nah,
forward, can I just
we
say
need to
one
keep
thing,
it
please?
PG for the
Tariq,
youths them, do you know what I mean?
I'd like to extend my
And-
invitation
and
for
also-
you to do
Big up
Thursday
the
watch-alongs
lads,
with
man.
me next
I'm
season.
back, bro. Parek's living right
Okay,
now.
no.
do you know what I mean?
1 second. Let Mania finish. 1 second. Go
That's
ahead,
it.
Mania.
Tariq, I just want to extend my invitation to you to do Thursday watch-alongs next season. That would be great for us if you want to do it. A lot of views.
You know what? It is what it is. We'll see who wins it. Do you know what I mean? If we play you in the final, then it'll be an interesting one.
Neither of us will win it, my guy.
You sure?
100%.
Okay. You see, as Matt said earlier on, when Mania says 99% or 100% in this case, the opposite usually happens. So yeah. But yeah, man. No, you're an Arsenal fan, aren't you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nah,
I'll let you start, my bro. Then I'll go into mine, and then we've
Listen,
got
bro.
and
I'm
Kasana
good,
and Danny in
and
the
I'm
place
big
as
up
well.
the lads as well. Do you know what I mean? Season has been rough for some people and very good for some other clubs. But I'm good, man. Do you know what I mean? Regardless, man. As much as I don't like certain things about my club, I'm still Parek's living. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Oh man, what's your thoughts on the season as a
It's
whole?
been, it's been, it's been man. I think we could have done better, man. If we had won X amount of games,
Sorry,
man.
you're an Arsenal fan,
I am, man.
and you're not happy with your season.
Bro, like, how did you let Tottenham finish above us again, man? It's jarring, man.
Listen, aside Tottenham, I thought Arsenal had a great season. By the way, like
Great
they
season, relax.
yeah, like I expect below that. Remember at the beginning of the season, I said they would finish again in the Conference League. Like I thought Arsenal this season have been better. They've implemented style. It might be one of the seasons that Eric Ten Hag might have, by the way. So, like he's taken the season, implemented his style, chose his plays, chose what he wants to do, and he set the standard. So, like, yeah, I think Arsenal fans want too much. Honestly, like, be satisfied with what you've done, because what you've done shouldn't have been done with that squad or what was happening from last season. So, yeah.
All
I think
right, fair enough, man. The thing is, like, we've seen like 16 years of dross, and like something has to give in it. That's the problem in it. Like, I'm not one of them fans that just gets pleased too easily. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I think we need a better manager. So Tarek, how do you think this season has went, man? Like,
if you got to look at it overall, it's a good season. Of course, I can understand the disappointment that you and many Arsenal fans are feeling right now in the fact that there was an opportunity there and we didn't take it. But in life, there's always opportunities. In your life, my life, everyone. But we're not always ready to take it. And that's just our squad at the moment. We're not mature enough. We don't have the right quality and experience. And opportunities will be there next season. I don't like hearing from Arsenal fans that, next season United are going to be stronger, Tottenham, this and that. Yo, there's going to be teams that fall away, whether that may be Chelsea. It may not go all right for Tottenham. You know, Conte, very volatile. Could go the other way, but this is football. How many
this is the game,
any
innit?
of us? Exactly. How many of us would have thought? Like, and I didn't think Manchester United were going to win the league, but I thought Man United would get fourth. Like, that's the minimum we expected from them. And look how it's turned out. in that way. And the same last season with Liverpool for the majority of their season, etc. And injuries come across and those things. And who would have thought that Arsenal would have been in a top 4 race until the final day of the season? Do you know what I mean? So I've got to take it in those points, looking at it. And yes, overall, I'm happy that to see progress. Of course, it's not where we want to be. No. We want to be challenging for the league title. I watched Man City lift that trophy, and I'm like,
Yeah, man.
I'm so
It's
jealous.
bittersweet, bro.
It hurts.
Feels bittersweet, bro. Like we were in their position 18 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And big up Danny in the place as well. Hope you're keeping good. Let me know what's Donny. He's Danny, not Danny. Donny James. Hope you're keeping good, man.
Tarek, bro.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What games do you look at and say that cost us like the fourth
One
place?
sec, no. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get right back into that. Let me just introduce Donny in the place. What team do you support, Donny?
I am a Doncaster Rovers fan, so my season finished weeks ago.
Aaron. He's called Aaron.
Yeah, man.
Oh, is it Aaron?
What are you saying, Aaron? Are you good?
Yeah. I just I got to listen to the last 20 minutes while I was on my break at work, and it was my last day at work today, so I got to listen to results on my break. And God, the drama, man. Nothing beats drama in football. It really doesn't. And, commiserations to Burnley. I don't offer anything to the other B team.
Man, I'm gutted, man. Burnley got relegated, man.
I'm not. I'm delighted Burnley are relegated.
Nah, man.
Mark
You need
Goldbridge
teams
will be
that are in the
ecstatic.
Prem, bro.
I'm happy for Jesse March. We're the deniers of American
Hey,
coaches.
man, they cheated, bro. That wasn't a record, man.
Mate, Goldbridge will be loving life right now.
Okay, 1 second, one at a time. Jesus wept.
But no, the other B team don't get any encouragement. You know who I'm talking about. West Ham fans, I'm sorry you lost to them. I think.
No, don't apologise. They bottled it, Aaron. Sorry, but they bottled it. We did our job for these, man. We beat United, and then they bottle it. It's like, you know what it is? Don't ever ask us for no favours ever again.
Yeah, for me, that was for those two results for me were the most disappointing, because I didn't feel like United deserved Europa League after their performance. I really didn't think they deserved it. So it took the B team embarrassing West Ham to give Man U Europa League football. It's like, well, you have to rely on other teams to make you succeed. That's the commercial club Man United. That's not the trophy winning Man United. That's the
Sorry,
club.
Aaron, 1 second. Matt, I don't know what side of the bed you woke up on, but whoa, you're sending shots, bruv. Holy shit.
16th. At least we finished 10 spots above you, my guy. You like yourself.
Mania, this is not the didn't United lose to Everton though?
Now is not the time, bro. Now is not the time.
Not like that.
4
We're
points. Shameless FC, my guy. We've become shameless FC, anyways.
Here is a statement. Ethan Galbraith did more for Man United, and he was at Doncaster Rovers, not playing for Man United at all this season.
There you go. Doesn't Reece James play for Doncaster? Reece James, the left back.
He did 2-3 years. Last 2-3. He left last season. Well, this time last year for free to Blackpool. He went to Championship because we basically fell off from the top 6 in about 5 months because Darren Moore left for Sheffield Wednesday, and then in summer he went to Blackpool instead of staying here. So we had to rebuild the squad again this year, which obviously is the squad that got us relegated this year. So look how well that fucking turned out.
There you go. There you go. And big up Matt. He's in the place. He's after you now, Hamza. Hamza's doing his whole.
Matty's gonna get ya. Matty's gonna get ya.
United's falling apart again.
Big up Matt, man. Talk to me, man.
What's the story, guys? How's things?
Not bad, mate.
I just came in. I was only having a bit of banter in the chat, so I'm here to.
Oh, mate, listen, it's all good. Let's end the season.
How are you, buddy?
We're all good, man. Talk to us.
Oh, mate, I switched off this season on Thursday evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
I think there might be a little delay, but yeah.
Yeah, I switched off from this season like on Thursday at like 10 o'clock. I didn't even want to watch that match today, but I said I'd jump in and watch a bit of a on T's watch along as well. But that was good fun. Brad forgetting players' names and all that left, right, and centre. It was hilarious. But yeah, it's one of those seasons, man. I think I'm just delighted that it's over. And listen, the fact that we picked up huge wins against the likes of Chelsea and United and obviously Crystal Palace there on Thursday, it just goes to show you how much of a state we were in. I mean, I don't think we picked up any points against any of the teams that were relegated. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of those mad seasons. And listen, it's going to be interesting. I know you guys all give Lampard a bit of slack and stuff like that, but I'm actually kind of half looking forward to seeing what he does with this Everton team, himself and Kevin Telwell. So I'm kind of half looking forward to seeing what he does. I mean, listen, I'm under no, I'm a very realistic Everton fan. I'll always kind of sit there and say, I'm not going to sit here and say that Everton are going to be banging top 10 next season just because Lampard's at the helm. I know we're in the middle of a little rebuild as well. I mean, we have a lot of players going out the door. We're probably going to have to sell in order to balance the books. So, listen, if Lampard can stamp his own kind of identity on the team and maybe I'll say it now, like I'd be happy with a 13th, 14th finish as long as we're going in the right direction and he's building what he wants to build. I don't want to sack another manager. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather him be given time and give him his contract at least to try and, because there's no good. I'd rather him have 3 years at Everton and have his own squad rather than him get sacked after bringing 6 of his own players in, and then we have another manager coming in with 7 different players. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to work. I think Everton need to kind of realise where they are and kind of kick on from there,
Yeah,
Ole is still available if you want him,
It's going to take a certain period of time for Everton to get back on its feet, and whether Frank's the right man or not is obviously a wait and see moment. But yeah, especially with the new stadium coming up in a few years, it's going to be a bit of a make or break time to Everton. Do you want to be another Sunderland in the Championship, or do you want to be amongst the top 10 with a stadium like that? It's up to them.
Well, the way it is, I think in terms of like you look at Burnley going down now. We were talking about it earlier. Tariq, Burnley took a loan out there last year, 55 million, and they had to they were able to pay it back over the next 3 years if they stayed in the Premier League, but they have to pay it up front now because they've had to get relegated. They're in serious trouble, Burnley now. They will become the next Sunderland, 100%.
I didn't trust their new owners from the start, and it's just starting to show itself.
The new owners have really ruined them.
Especially sacking Sean Dyche. That for me was the turning point. Because he was the man that
Mike Jackson
they looked better after sacking him, to be fair.
Okay, one at a time. It's impossible to hear everybody talking.
Yeah. Say that again. No. What was you saying?
I said Mike Jackson has had a better record than Sean, though. And Sean played had games.
So it's a good point. What was you saying?
No, he hasn't really had a better record.
I was saying that Burnley looked much better after sacking Sean Dyche than before, to be fair, I think that was the right call because they were getting relegated no matter what it looked like. So we're like, okay, let's sack Sean Dyche and see if we can change something. And it almost worked. I mean, Leeds got very lucky today, to be fair.
Yeah, I completely.
To be fair, Sean Dyche.
Sorry, you got a little bit of a delay. It's all right, Matt. We know. What was you saying, Aaron?
I just had this faith towards Sean Dyche that he would just keep them up because there's just something about Sean Dyche that just keeps teams up. So, I mean, for him as a manager, I don't know where he's going to go next, but I'm sure if Burnley don't do well next season, I think the fans will start to turn on the owners. I think I'm in no illusions of that. I think it's clear to see from the evidence of behind Sean Dyche's sacking what the state of the club is at the moment. So I think Burnley are in a very vulnerable position where, who knows, like maybe in 2 years' time, if we get back into League One, maybe we're playing Burnley in a league fixture, which actually would be that'd be for a club like Doncaster, that'd be a huge honour to get Burnley in a league match in a couple of years. But for Burnley fans, it must be
I don't get the hate Burnley get, bro. Like, they're doing what they do with their means, man. And you need teams like Burnley because they know how to get results against the big boys, man. Like, this Burnley son is outrageous, man. Don't you agree, Donny?
I mean,
and
that's
Ali,
what I
that
want
it's
us to be.
outrageous?
That's what I want our team to be. I want, if we can get our recruitment strategy up and running, I want us to be at that stage where we can start challenging for the top divisions and things like that, and for the first time in our history, and be like a Brentford kind of thing. And you know, Doncaster's now a city. We've now been given city status, which hopefully should give us a bit more leeway, you know, towards being a better football club. So you know, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we're up there with you guys in a few years' time.
Yeah, you never know, man.
Just
You never
laughing at
know.
Hamza.
Stranger things have happened.
I mean, we
Hamza
gave
doing his
we gave
GCSEs.
man.
Well, we gave Ethan Galbraith a good career. We started Matt Smith off well, and Josh Martin. Josh Martin is the best player from Norwich City this season. He's not even played for them this season. Full stop. Absolute wing freaking wizard.
You lot are like a farm. You lot are like, just like a lone farm. Here, give us all the players you can't play. Give them to us.
Just
You're the opposite of Chelsea, bruv.
No, we've got some permanent players as well. We've got Adam Clayton, John Bostock, Tommy Rowe.
Sorry, John Bostock. Oh, yeah. Christ above.
We've had him for 2
Yo,
years.
you know that guy?
What was that, Dodo?
John Buster that you said or something.
Yeah, he used to play for Tottenham. That one.
Yeah, he started at Palace and then went to Tottenham.
And we've got Adam Clayton at midfield as well that used to play in Premier League.
It's a Brexit name as well. You know what I mean?
I think you should go for Phil Jones from Manchester United. That'd be a good
Could you imagine that though? League Two midfield: John Bostock, Adam Clayton, Tommy Rowe, who used to play at Peterborough and Stockport, and that's a title-winning midfield. Fingers crossed.
Hey, that's the Football League for you. You never know who can sign for a Football League club. I mean, if Edgar Davids can sign for Crystal Palace, you never know.
You can take McTominay if you want.
Yeah, sir.
I've been saying this for a long time. McTominay is a League Two player.
Okay, one at a time. Christ, it's hard.
No. Stop talking over people. No.
I think there might be a delay. I think there might be a delay from Nono's NGC. So no, what was you saying? And we go back to you, Mania.
Yeah, I was saying, Nate was saying League One. Like I just remembered that Palace were in League One 10 years ago. Or something.
No, we've never been in League One, bruv.
It's
a swing and a miss.
No, I think Palace one season were on the verge of relegation, but they just
correct. Yeah, that's it. We've never been in League One, mate. Not in my lifetime.
But trust me, League One's a completely different place to 10 years ago. It feels like Championship Point 2, and League 2's feeling like League One right now.
There you go. What was you saying there, Mania?
I was just saying, I know that Hamza was making a joke about loaning out Scott McTominay to Doncaster, but I've said it for so long that Scott McTominay is a League Two, League One player at best. You know, that was just my point. So I hope you can take him, man. You can take him. We'll pay you.
You know what I say? Yeah. As bad as he's looked at times, don't you think that he could be one of them impact players off the bench or something like that? If he's not relied on in the kind of role where you're like, we rely on you to be that holding midfielder every week as a starter. What we need to realize that as Manchester United players, a lot of us just say, get rid of all of these guys, get them gone. But we're going to need players who are going to have to fill those roles, fill those particular roles, whether it be off the bench, whether it be playing here and there once every 2 weeks or something like that, rotating the play etc. So we can't really be like getting rid of a whole load of players and all of a sudden we have no squad depth.
Yeah,
some of these guys have to be rotated.
Fred can fill that off the bench role, but if McTominay is anywhere near the starting 11 or making regular sub appearances next time for Manchester United, that would show that we made no progress whatsoever. He's not a good player whatsoever. It's not the poor performances. It's the small mentality that he has. Have you watched him against Liverpool, Man City, or in the Champions League? He gets so scared that he just hides in games. That's not a professional footballer right there, mate. He needs to go. Him and Maguire need to go for this club to move on 100%.
Do you know what I'll say?
I think
to like back CM, and then I'll let you go, Matt. What I'd say to back CM's point is you do like McTominay. Yes, he's not very good, but he can be a squad rotation player and that's what his role can be. And the fact his wages can definitely allow that to happen, where it's not going to be a big, huge drain on resources, come through the academy and whatnot. You have to look at, if Ten Hag's going to be a good manager, he's going to be able to have to like use these players at points and get results out of them. It's like when I'm talking about Arteta. We've been in the top 4 challenge, since March, when we had no Partey, who picked up an injury against Palace, no Tierney, no Tomiyasu throughout most of it, no striker because we had to sell him in January because of off the pitch issues, and we had Cedric, El Nene, Rob Holding, Eddie Nketiah across the spine of the team. You're going to have to. Sir Alex Ferguson was doing it season in, season out with the likes of Anderson, Carrick, I was about to say, sorry, Carrick weren't that bad. Anderson, Cleverly, Wes Brown, John O'Shea. These are utility players that he was winning leagues with. That's what a good manager has to do, and you have to overachieve with these types of players. And when they're not being starters week in, week out, I understand.
Matt, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I agree with what CM is saying, and I agree to a point what Manchester Mania is saying about McTominay. I don't agree that he's the way Manchester Mania comes out and says stuff with his chest that McTominay is a League 1, League 2 player at best. He's a good Premier League player, but he's not a top 6 Premier League player. He's not going to be starting in for Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. He's not going to be starting from it. So if Manchester United want to get back into the top 4, yes, he's not going to be starting for them. But he's better than you're making him out to be. Like, he's a decent, like what CM is playing. He's a good squad rotational player. He's good for somebody to bring on 20 minutes to go if you're 2-0 up to kind of keep that lead and stuff like that. Like, he's a good player. He has heart as well. Like, he's from Scotland. He's going to give it 100%. And he is kind of talented enough. Like, I can see him doing a job for like kind of a mid-table Premier League team and being a good player for them. Like, so I just think it's a bit harsh on McTominay. I've always kind of half liked him in terms of when I looked at Manchester United last season and this season to a point, I thought he might have been the only player who had a bit of heart in the team. When he went on and put the jersey on, he was the one who was willing to go out there. Is he good enough? Probably not, but at least he was out there trying his best. Do you know what I mean? You can't say that for a lot of players.
Would you take him at Everton?
Scott McTominay is an improvement on some of the midfielders that we have, so yeah, I would take him at Everton.
And do you know
100%.
what? The best way to justify this is to yourself, Mania, is have a look at when Wes Brown, John O'Shea, your Gibsons, as Brush has brought up, Cleverly, when they left Manchester United, what happened to them? A lot of them went to relegation fodder. Darren Gibson was playing League 1 football after winning. He was holding a Champions League trophy.
Listen, T, can I say something to you?
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 thing. The coaches have to understand their personnel and know how they're going to be used so that the messages relate to the player understands their role, how they're going to be used all season long, and then it's their job to execute. McTominay constantly has been deployed as a central defensive midfielder for most of the time that sits back, doesn't go forward, and has to pick up the ball from the defense and then progress play. His strength is not defending. His strength is carrying the ball forward and influencing the game in the forward areas. And we've only seen that a handful of times.
And he's aggressive as well. Like, that's what I like about him. He is aggressive, probably too aggressive sometimes. But he has, like CM, he hasn't been coached in 4 years.
Exactly.
Like, he hasn't been coached. You might say, like, if you go out to him and say, I want you to play central defensive midfielder, has he been coached to be that type of player for Manchester United by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and by Rangnick? I doubt it. Do you know what I mean? So when Ten Hag comes in, you never know what half these players are going to be like under Ten Hag. So it's going to be interesting to see what McTominay is like next year. I don't see him going anywhere. I can see him being a big part of Man United squad. Not necessarily starting 11, but he's definitely going to be involved in the squad, 100%.
And that's it. And making these players' roles as simple as possible. Yeah, that's what it has to be. Like, the imbalance of Man United, it's really hard to judge any single player. But
there is like 6 or 7 very bad players, like in McTominay, Maguire, Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka players. Do you think he has the most potential to come out of that bad player loop, or or somebody else.
I don't know, like Luke Shaw isn't necessarily a bad player, because when he plays for England, he plays well for England. It's just a case of he's probably playing beside Harry Maguire, and he's probably nervous about going too far forward, because he has to leave Maguire there with a load of open space over his shoulder. That's probably half Luke Shaw's problem. He's nervous of leaving a load of space there. But when he's playing for England, he's playing very well. So I don't know what the situation is there. Like, but
I'm going to vouch for Wan-Bissaka here, and I'm going to say this: you're expecting him to be like Trent. He's not Trent. Never was going to be. Never could be. Never will be. Fair enough. He hasn't been great for Man United, but he was an upgrade on what you had before he arrived. Is he going to be outright world-class right back? Probably not. No. But for where you are now, I don't really see you getting many players that are better than him, because, let's be fair, you're not exactly the draw you once were. Don't get me wrong, from my perspective, getting 50 million for him was a frigging steal. Dougie Freeman did a fucking madness. But then again, Dougie Freeman is Scottish, so they know how to get money out of anywhere. But no, but it's true. It's true, because listen, he was not a 50 million pound player when he was at Crystal Palace.
Not even half
Yeah,
that.
people can say English tax, this, that, the other. You know what it is? I just look at it and go, look, the player that we sold is still in there somewhere. He just hasn't been coached.
Yeah, I predicted he was like a 10-15 million pound at best player when he was at Palace, like 10-15, pushing at a 20. So yeah, like I said, there is a player in there, because I saw that at Palace and I saw how good he was. He just needs that right manager. He doesn't need to be moved out. He just needs the right manager, and hopefully Ten Hag can do that.
he'll probably end up at loan at Brentford now, will he? Or Doncaster.
But see, that's the problem that people are not seeing in Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Nobody at Manchester United thought he's going to be a Trent Alexander-Arnold or a Reece James. But our problem with him is the guy can't pass. Like, we don't want him to make like brilliant crosses or like assist every other game. We just want him to know how to pass the ball. He passes the ball to the other team's players all the damn time, man. It's not
There was
that hard
times in the past as well. There was times in the past as well where in games he was quite magnetic to the centre backs. He was sort of holding hands at times to the centre backs, and he kept the right hand side wide space open a few times as well.
Yeah, that too. Like, we don't want him to attack and score every other game, but we want him to be at least more composed.
Needs a bit more defensive freedom.
But that comes from coaching. This is what I'm trying to say. You're bleating on about how he doesn't do this and that, but you coach players how to improve.
Yeah.
You can't expect them to be fucking world class out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, don't get me wrong, I understand there are deficiencies to his game. His age isn't important here. Where he's gone from a mid-table club that constantly defends. So he was always going to look good in that aspect. If you're expecting him to all of a sudden be a ball-playing defender when he's never been that at the club he was at previously, he needs to be coached into doing that. And the manager you had that brought him to the club failed to coach him. Yes, it's on the player himself at 24 to know how to do this, but coaching is pivotal to players that come from a small club to a big club. Because you've done this before with one of our players in Wilfried Zaha. Manchester United fans tried to tell me Adnan Januzaj was better. Januzaj must be cutting hair in Real Sociedad right now. So I'm not hearing none of this Wan-Bissaka slander. Januzaj, bruv. Januzaj. This guy went Sunderland and helped them get relegated. No, less of that. No.
Give Januzaj 4 or 5 years. He'll be in the Championship or League One.
All right, guys. We're gonna wrap this. United chats. We've been going on for ages about United.
Thank God.
Oh, mate, I was just about to say Burnley, Norwich, and Watford replaced by Fulham, Bournemouth, and either Notts Forest or Huddersfield.
No, Forest.
Notts Forest.
Next season, has the Premier League progressed or digressed with its selection?
Oh, progressed, because Watford and Norwich only come up to get relegated. Burnley were a little bit unlucky, but Burnley were the team that if they got relegated, nobody would really hate it. People wouldn't like it, but
Mark Goldbridge is ecstatic, but
yeah, but that's Mark Goldbridge. But when you look at it, you say to yourself, okay, Fulham coming up, they're like Norwich and Watford. They come up, they go back down. Bournemouth, well, it's not Eddie Howe's Bournemouth anymore, so it's a new variation of what we've seen before. And if Nottingham Forest come up, that's obviously a massive club that we haven't seen in the Prem since 1999. If Huddersfield come up, we know what they were like last time around. They weren't great to watch. You never really look forward to playing them. But you never know. A different variation on both of these teams. It could be interesting next Sunday to see who does come up.
Yeah,
But I think
Sorry,
Sorry,
know.
I'm just jumping off now, right? I'm just trying to say one thing about that relegation thing. I think next year, I think the relegation battle is going to be involving a lot more teams. I don't think it's just going to be 3 or 4 teams or 5 teams that are going to be involved in the relegation battle. I can see it being a lot closer. I don't see one team being rock bottom or anything like that. I can see it being a lot closer, and wouldn't be surprised to see if Everton are involved in it as well. But like a lot of teams this season, see the likes of Southampton and Aston Villa, they got away with it. The fact that Everton and Burnley and Leeds were very poor towards the end of the season, they definitely got away with it because like Southampton's sitting pretty there on 40 points. Do you know what I mean? They were very lucky.
And in fairness, Matt, Southampton are dirt. Sorry, Aaron. Yeah, so you're right. Southampton are poor.
Yeah,
they're a poor side.
Yeah.
Right, lads, I have to go. Right, I'll talk to you later on. Cheers, boys. Bye.
But no, I think from my experience watching the teams that are going up or potentially going up, Huddersfield do play a lot better under Carlos Cobaran. I think they do play better football. Whether that works in the Premier League or not is obviously beyond anyone's guess. They've got a good few up-and-coming players like your Lewis O'Briens and things like that. Fulham, look, they've been blowing everyone away. If they can keep Mitrovic and not sell him in the summer, they'll have a much better chance of staying up. Bournemouth, they've got a really, really passionate manager in Scott Parker. I think he's someone who I think could be underrated if Bournemouth play the way they've been playing, keep the players that they've kept that dynamic together this season and just build on that. With Notts Forest, I think they could be the surprise package like Brentford have been this season, finishing in near the top 10 or in the top 10, like Brighton, for example, as well.
Aaron, careful, watch your language.
Remember, Aaron? Remember?
Oh yeah, I was quite disappointed about Luton. I was surprised. I was a bit disappointed that Luton went up, but actually, I'm not too disheartened now looking at the Premier League next season because I'm sort of like, okay, maybe it wasn't Luton's year this year, but no, it will be interesting.
Donny, so you support Doncaster Rovers, but when it comes to the Premier League, who is like the team that you have the closest connection to?
I don't have a Premier League team. I have one team, and that's Doncaster Rovers, and I'll always have one team.
That's it. Tell them again.
Right. In terms of the relegation,
18 years once in, never out.
In terms of the relegation battle, I'm going to go around and ask the panel on this one. Then what we'll do, move into the top 4, and then hopefully if we get a City or Liverpool fan joining, can talk about the title race. More paying for United fans. But in relegation, so for next season, what teams do you think, is there any outside shouts that you guys have that could get dragged into that battle? We'll start with you, Nate. We'll start with you, Nate, and then we'll work our way to see No, Hamza, mainly, and then back to yourself, Aaron.
Southampton are up there.
Yeah.
Because I think they're a bit over-reliant on James Ward-Prowse. Not just James Ward-Prowse himself, but, they won't have Armando Broja next season unless they convince Chelsea to sell him or loan him back, which may not be easy. Depends what kind of a window Frank Lampard has as Everton manager. If he gets his recruitment right, he could push Everton well away from any kind of relegation danger. Newcastle, for me, yes, they've got umpteen billion in the bank, but you can spend money well and spend money poorly. Which way it goes, only time tells. But I'd say Southampton, Villa, maybe ourselves if we don't get a strong window, because you can't never rule out even teams like ourselves, because yes, we've done well to stay in the league for near enough 10 seasons now, but nothing's a given in football. Having said that, because we've played so well this season, I'd like to think we'll try and kick on next season. But again, I'm a Crystal Palace fan. I know what we're like. We can look good one season and we can flop the next. So I'm not saying we're going to be in that mix, but we could be, is what I would say. So I'm going to say Villa, Southampton, and any 2 of the 3 promoted teams.
Interesting. What about you, CM? What about any dark horses for relegation?
That a term?
I would agree with Southampton for sure. Dark horses, I don't know still.
I'll put some names out there for you. Everton, how do you think they'll respond next season with Frank Lampard at the helm?
Or someone else?
It's a difficult one to predict because they could be in a relegation battle again. I think it all depends on how they spend their money this summer and try to improve their squad, who they can hold on to, of course, upon the players that are most productive for them. I think they may definitely be dragged into that relegation conversation, but I'm not too sure as of yet. It all depends on what happens in the summer and how they start the season. I think
Uh, oh,
Brentford,
second season syndrome, of
yeah,
course. Those things happen. That's Huddersfield. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Also,
yeah.
I'll put a little shout out there. I want to hear the reaction from you guys. What about the second half of the season from Wolves? They've had a
That's definite.
shocker.
That's definitely a concern. I think once again, there have been issues that we've heard from Ed, issues around, the manager getting his word across to the players. I'm sure there are some players like, Ruben Neves who will be leaving this summer and looking to go into a better situation. So how are they gonna kind of improve their squad with some of their outgoings? How is the manager gonna be able to get his message across to those players that are there now and are going to be incoming? It's gonna be a interesting thing, because if they start the season the way they've ended it, that's just going to be more concern. And then what do you do if you're at Christmas time, you're thick in that relegation battle? Do you get rid of the manager, go for a new one? So many tough questions. We kind of saw with Burnley, like they got rid of their manager way too late. And fair enough, it may have been a situation where the time had come, but they kind of procrastinated on that and waited until it was too late. And by then, yeah, they had an opportunity to kind of try and lift themselves out of the situation, but it was too far gone.
What about yourself? No. I know you gutted about Burnley going down, but who do you see as a surprise package going down next season or in and around the relegation zone?
Probably. Let me go on my phone. I think Villa. Villa might be dragged in because Stevie G has been moving a bit shaky, hasn't he? And like they've been very inconsistent, and Villa have had 19 losses this season, which is very shocking. And I'm like probably even Southampton, man, because them man like against very clinical teams they get battered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So probably Southampton and Villa, to be honest. Everyone won't be as bad as they are this season, you know what I mean?
True. Hamza, what about yourself?
I'll put some Southampton there definitely, and next off, I would probably say Brentford, because I think Brentford might be in the next Sheffield United, where they had a season where they were close to European football. They were a tough team to beat, and next season they were relegated. So I'll put Brentford in there, and who else? I don't think Everton. I think Everton might be moving forward if they have the good transfer window. They
Leeds?
some
No
some
one said
players will
Leeds.
on definitely, but
No one's saying Leeds to be in and around there again. I know they're not really a surprise package.
no, I think Leeds are under consideration as well. Like there are a couple of teams where it just depends if like yeah I don't get the Villa thing, because Villa are doing absolutely great business. Like they've been doing really good businesses the last couple of transfer windows. I don't I see them like I see them next season in top 8. I really do.
Wow.
I think they might be a surprise team next
I
season.
mean, that's what a lot of fans were saying last season. And look how this season just gone. But David has raised a good point here about Villa getting Kamara, who's been highly sought after by Man United fans for sure. One of the free transfers that a lot of fans have been looking at as a young central
The
defensive
quality
midfielder.
midfielder.
Yeah, Boubacar Kamara. Yeah, exactly. Interesting signing for Villa once again. They have struggled with injuries as well. Looking at Leon Bailey, me and Cian's brother right there. You get me, with Leon Bailey. But Danny Ings being injured at points too. Buendia taking time to settle in, but Coutinho showing his flash of brilliance again. So I think Villa will be all right personally. But what about you, Mania?
I think the 3 teams that will get promoted will obviously be in it. It's not like any of them were like Leeds or Brentford when they got promoted, a team that can jump into like a
Or
sort of
Wolves.
mid-table,
Yeah.
or Wolves, true. But to be fair, I think there's a team that everybody's talking about Everton having a good transfer window. They won't. They won't, man. There's a big reason. They might even get a 9 point penalty at the beginning of next season. They are currently 370 million euros in debt or pounds in debt, and they can't prove that most of that debt because of COVID, which means they might get a 9 point penalty. And either way, whether they get it or not, they won't be able to make any big money signings unless they sell players for big money. And I don't see that happening. I was hoping they get relegated so we can get Richarlison, for example, for a very small fee, but there's no way that we want Richarlison for a 50 million or 60 million pound fee. So I think Everton are definitely in the relegation battle next season. And then you have your Leeds. I think Leeds were just in the second season syndrome type of thing right now. They'll bounce back, hopefully. 12th, 13th finish in the table next season. But Brentford are definitely in it. Crystal Palace, as Nate said, Crystal Palace are just like sometimes they're in it, sometimes they're out. You never know. And then Southampton, I think, will get relegated next season too.
Interesting there. You see, I think that's a good shout about Everton because of their debt. But what about Aaron? Aaron, who do you think will be in and around there? Do you agree with Mania?
Well, firstly, I think we'll have our first survival Sunday in a good few years. I think that'll be my prediction, first of all. I think we'll have our proper survival Sunday. All three relegation places will be up on the line on the last day of the season.
Big call, that.
I think the three promoted teams will obviously be amongst it. I think we can't argue the fact of that. In terms of teams that are already in the Premier League next season, I think if Leeds don't recruit well, I think they could be in the mix again. I think Southampton are definitely going to be in the mix again. They've not looked great, so I think they could really struggle if they don't recruit well. It all comes down to their new owners, because if they don't help the manager recruit well, the manager goes off poorly with what he's been given, then it's going to be a real season of struggle for the Saints. And again, in a few years, if Southampton go down and down, I'd like to see them in a league fixture with Rovers. But I think if Brighton don't get a nice out-and-out proven goal scorer to go ahead with their collection, I think that they could struggle because I think they've been doing well with goals. They've got a top 10 finish this season, so can't argue with that. But if they're going to sell some players on, they're going to need to bring in at least one more goal scorer just to help their ranks. Because I want Brighton to put... the B team. I want them to push.
Doing it again. Last strike now, yeah.
I know.
Aaron, one more swear and you're being sin binned.
I want the B team being pushed towards the conference places rather than relegation. So, in terms of progressing the club, I would like to see them go in and bring one more proven goal scorer in. If they don't, they could be in serious trouble. If everyone else improves around them. I think Everton will probably be in the mix again if they don't recruit well, and Lampard could be in danger as well. There's about six, 7 teams probably in the mix next season. So I think we will probably go down to the last day of the season and have our own survival Sunday. But I do predict that all 3 relegation places will be up for grabs on the last day.
Cool. There you go.
Will, welcome to Eagle Eyed Football. How you doing, mate?
Good, man. I was honored to be on here. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's great channel.
When the Don of South London comes in, everyone's cameras shut off. Even Nate has to bow down to the Don. You know what I mean?
Now I put my camera back on. Hold on there, T. Hold on. I can sin bin you, you know. Hold on a second. You're on our channel now, bruv. Wait a second.
Oh, big up, man.
No, the chat's been interesting, and I had to jump in.
You got a question there as well.
Yeah. Well, I think we're given towards the end of the season how Chelsea have finished, and with new owners, there's sometimes a hiccup, and their culture of buying under Abramovich, that's gone now. So they're going to have to total restructure. I think they're going to struggle to make that top 4. And that again, that's one of them things where, like Sunderland did with dropping down the leagues, when the big teams drop, it's sometimes, well, we know as Arsenal fans and Man United know as Arsenal fans, it's hard to get back into that top 4 if you have to restructure and rebuild. So that's one of the things that I think is going to be a big thing for next season.
Yeah. I'm gonna get off, but it's been a pleasure being on tonight, and
Big up Aaron, bro.
hopefully promotion back to League One for us next season. Anyway,
Aaron, always a
Up the
pleasure to have
Donnies.
you on the channel, mate.
Hey, up the
absolutely.
Donnies. Right there,
Big up the
exactly.
Donnies.
Pleasure, man, Aaron. And Nono, what's your thoughts? Of course, a fellow Arsenal fan looking at Chelsea, their second half of the season as a shambles. It's a failure of a season in my eyes. As Chelsea fans, the floor is yours if you want to come on and let me know otherwise. But I think Will's got a good point here. It could be it's precarious times because they don't have Roman Abramovich at the helm. What's your thoughts on Chelsea?
My thoughts on the Chelsea thing. Listen, man, they'll be alright. Like the second part of the season is, I think the sanctions is part to do it, and the injuries as well, and also like they've kind of checked out in a way, and their attackers are crap. They're goddamn crap. To be honest, I think Lukaku, I like the guy, but they're not playing to his strength. Pulisic, he is dead food. ZH, alright. When the less said about the fella, the better. Kai Havertz, purple patch player, the best. So,
But you think they'll be all right? That's the mad thing.
I tell you why, because of their manager. You know what I mean? Tuchel knows how to motivate them players, though.
All right. Well, Hamza, we'll throw that to you. And I know you said you got a goal as well. So, yeah, man, what do you think on Chelsea for next season?
I think they're gonna struggle next season. For me, like I think they're gonna have a lot of trouble because I don't think the owners are gonna be good. To be honest, like I think Chelsea are gonna have a tough like a bit of a Man United period where they've got owners that only care about money and stuff like that. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, but like that's a prediction for me. I think Chelsea are gonna suffer a bit, like quite a lot. And next season, like I think they're gonna finish fifth, sixth, because I think they're not gonna strengthen the squad. They've got lots of players that are gonna go, and Arsenal, Spurs, United are getting back to gear. So I feel like Chelsea are gonna suffer next season. And I mean, I like Chelsea, but I don't think. I don't think they're gonna have a good couple of seasons because of the new owners. Like they're gonna like I don't know. I feel like they're gonna only suffer. That's it.
Interesting. Just before you go as well, last thing. I know when I first met you, Hamza, I think it was on this show. In fact, earlier on in the season, you said that a certain player that we will not mention because of certain things was better than Bukayo Saka. But I'm gonna link it now. Saka or Sancho?
No, this season is gonna be definitely Saka. Like Saka has
He's matured. He's matured. I love that.
No, I'm here because Saka, like every time I watch Saka when he's on the right and every time he cuts in, just like I feel like he's physically fit for the Premier League. He's sharp. He's confident. I think he's become a player to depend on. Like that's one of the reasons that Arsenal have a young squad. So like Saka has been a crucial part of what Arsenal have achieved this season. Even though Arsenal fans don't consider it an achievement, but yeah, like Saka has got a lot to improve still, but I think he's been a crucial player. I think he's gonna have a lot of potential going forward.
Big up, man. Thank you, Hamza, man. You're an absolute legend. You have matured throughout the season as well.
Alhamdulillah,
Like
bro. Hamza, bro. Alhamdulillah, bro. See you, man.
See you, my
Take
guy.
care, man. And Mania, I think David raises a point. He says that if Chelsea don't finish top four, who takes their spot? But because David thinks that Chelsea have too many good players to drop out of the top four. My 2 pence on that is I think we would have said the same about Man United going into this season too. But Mania, what's your thoughts on Chelsea? Do you think they can be finish inside or outside the top 4?
Yeah, Philip.
Okay, well, first I'll just start off by saying I have a weird top 4 shout for next season. I think it's going to be Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Newcastle. Just a weird shot for me. I know it's doubtful, but that
Fair
also
enough.
means that Chelsea gets out of the top 4. And I think the reason that will happen is ask us Manchester United fans how bad it is to have an American owner. That's one. Second, and more importantly, they have lost out on most of their center back targets, with the exception of Jules Koundé, and they need at least 3 center backs this summer, at least, because they have 2 of the most important center backs leaving, and then Thiago Silva only has 1 more season after this one left in him before he probably goes. So I think it's a very weird situation right now for Chelsea. But I also think they're going to lose their manager in the coming weeks. There's talk about him getting sacked. So if that happens, I think it's over for Chelsea. It's a bottom 6 to 8 position finished for me next season. Well, let's see what happens.
What about you, Nate? Because I know CM's not here at the moment. But Nate, for them lot, I mean, I'll be happy if they finish outside the top 4, like Mania said. Not if Newcastle take that spot, though, because that would just be another Chelsea. We've just lost one, and we just bring another Chelsea right in there. But what about you, Nate?
Boy, with Chelsea, it's difficult because obviously there's part of me that respects the success they've had, and there's part of me that hates the arrogance of their fans. I saw that firsthand at the FA Cup semi-final because they're talking about enjoy your big day out, this, that, the other. Did they enjoy their big day out at the set of the final? I don't think they did. I did because I thought it was hilarious. But with Chelsea, yeah, Chelsea are that kind of team where if there's any other team in the league, you might feel a little bit sorry for them. Just a little bit. But with Chelsea, I don't feel sorry for them because of the racism and the blatant bullshit that they keep going through. So,
Exactly, man.
I'm not gonna lie. If they did finish at the so-called top 8 next season, I'd find that very fucking funny. If half their squad got ransacked, I'd find that very funny. Oh, and if these American owners prove to be even worse than the Glazers and the Cronkies and all these other American owners that do nothing but money grab out of the football club, I won't lie, I find it very funny because they kept saying about Roman won't sell until he sold.
There you go, right there. Interesting.
He's not yet confirmed yet as well.
What was that?
Yeah,
bro?
it's not even confirmed yet.
Todd Bowley, he's not yet confirmed yet. They said that 31st.
It's
of June,
99%, pretty much done deal.
May.
In other words, it's 1% done. Okay, thank you, Menial. No problem.
But I suppose you got to look at that's going to affect their transfer policy going into the summer. So a lot of their targets might be gone by the time this is all wrapped up.
It's very true.
Vibes.
I don't.
Sorry. With 1 second. Vibes. Yeah. Thank you. Voice of reason right here. If Newcastle go from 12th to 11th to Europe next season, that's remarkably quick.
Exactly. I don't.
Bear in mind, they still employ Jamal Lascelles, John Joe Shelby, and Carl Darlow.
Also, keep in mind
if they get Europe with them players, somebody's smoking Buju Banton. I'm not having it. No way in hell.
Yeah, Nate, they finished
maybe Europa Conference or something, but they're not getting anywhere near the top 4 for at least 2 seasons. Next season,
they'll get top 10 next season and build from there. I'm not hearing
it's not gonna. Even if because look at even when Pep come into Man City with all that money, it took him a couple of years to actually get going, and Man City were a lot further on than Newcastle are now, because that at some point they're going to get rid of Eddie Howe and bring in another manager that they want. Eddie Howe will take them so far, and them owners will want a big name manager come in, whatever the job Eddie Howe's doing. They'll want a big name manager. So it's going to take them at least 2 seasons to get into Europe. If they get into Europe next season, they're overachieving. So
yeah.
Nate,
totally agree.
My question to you, Nate, do you know where they finished if you don't count the first half of the season since the January transfer window? Do you know where Newcastle have finished?
It's irrelevant because the whole season factors where you finish.
Yeah,
so well and good looking at half a season, but the whole season Where were they? Yes, I'm aware that they finished 11th after being bottom at Christmas. But why did they finish so high up? Because they had financial backing from new owners who, let's be fair, have saved the club from the horrors of Mike Ashley. Credit where it's credit's due. But before this whole, they finished. They were here in the form table. Don't matter. They will not get Europe from the start of next season unless they're signing Mbappe and all of these men, which they won't do because FFP will screw you over. I'm aware Newcastle have a very generous amount of FFP leeway because of Mike Ashley refusing to spend money, which is ironic because you'd think, why doesn't Mike Ashley take over at Tottenham? Because they don't like spending money either.
You know,
I'd
we're all
love him
here
to.
for
I'd
that.
love him to. Yeah, but also you got to remember though, like the January transfer window, next season Newcastle are going to get sussed out if they play the same way that they play now. Yeah, all teams do. All teams do. That's why we have that second season hiatus that people have. The people tend to forget that the Premier League as a whole is a very intelligent league, as well as being competitive and physical and all the rest of it. It's a very intelligent league, and teams and managers suss people out quick time. They'll watch a team lose, and then everybody starts jumping on the bandwagon and implementing that.
It's true. And do you know what? To say for David's point, I don't even think it's that United, Arsenal, and Spurs are too inconsistent. I think it's the fact that Chelsea can draw games that we lose. Because I'm looking at their season. They've had 11 draws. We've had 3, yeah. And Spurs have had 5. They've had 6 losses, and Spurs have had 11. We've had 13. So Chelsea, if we can turn those, if we can turn some of those defeats into draws, we're already at Chelsea's level now. And Chelsea can only, for me, they can only regress from this position. So that's where I agree with what Wilf is saying in that way. And that's the interesting part. Spurs
but see, that argument could be said for a lot of teams. You look at Palace, for example. The amount of games we drew this season, you're thinking, Christ, like both games against them and they're from the South Coast. Had we won the game at home, yeah, we would have deserved that. The away game, not so much. Arsenal away, massively pissed off we drew that game. Only because of the nature of the draw. But listen, a point away at Arsenal's nothing to sniff at. Silly points have been dropped all across our season. You're thinking, we'd be comfortable top 10 if we hadn't fucked this up so many times. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, you've got to look at that and go, I mean, if I was a Palace fan, right, and I've got a soft spot for Palace, I'd be looking at Vieira's a man that learns, another one that learns quick. If he's starting at this level now and he's got a year, a season settled side, he's already got his targets. You're going to kick on. He's going to learn from them draws. Them draws hurt him.
Oh no, Wilf, don't get me wrong. I'm buzzing that we've got these results and we're playing this way, and performances are making me a little bit conflicted. What I'm saying is that you look at the nature of some of these draws and defeats we had this season, and you think, okay, some of them, yeah, you kind of take it on the chin, you move on, you keep it moving. Yeah. But the Arsenal game away from home, that was like, really?
Yeah. Next season, you win that game. If it played the same way next season, I'm telling you, you win that game. Yeah. What was the other one you drew? There was one Leicester. Where you shouldn't have drawn Leicester. Next season, you win that. Yeah. Next season, you win that. I was at the Man City Palace game. Right. Yeah. I was at the Man City Palace game. Right. And that was nasty. And again, those are the games that Vieira and your team, your squad, would have learnt the most from. Not the losses, not the big wins. Those draws where they lost. There was about 3 or 4 games. No, it's more than that. It's about 6 or 7 games where you lost, like in the last 15 minutes, or not lost, but you gave away goals in the last 10, 15 minutes. Those are the games that you learn. Those are the games that he's going to learn for. Those are the ones that are going to go, right, boys, remember last time, when we get into the last 10, 15 minutes of the game and we've got a lead, don't lose your head. Don't be gung-ho. Take the ball into the corner of the pitch. Make them nasty little fouls. Take a booking. Be scrappy. Don't let them get past the halfway line. That's what's going to happen next season.
Having
No,
that ruthless finisher as well.
100%. It's just obviously look, because we had Roy Hodgson and Roy did a phenomenal job with the resources he had, as I said at the start of the show. I'm not one of these Palace fans that's going to try and talk about us being bigger than we are, because quite honestly, if you'd have offered me the season we've had plus an FA Cup semi-final, I'd have bitten your hand off. I'd have said,
Oh, yeah.
what, a trip to Wembley and finish comfortably up the narrowly miss out on top 10 for a very, very silly error, but calamitous error at Everton. You're like, it's the most Palace thing ever. We've got positive goal difference, looking at one of the better teams out of the bottom half of the table. Still managed to show Charity Professional Football Club is still alive in 2022. For flip's sake, man. But look, it could be worse. I could support Watford or Charlton. Why did I mention Charlton? They're a basket case football club. But my point is that, it could be worse. I mean, could support Millwall, and Jesus Christ, I'd have to be sectioned on the mental health act for that shit.
Whoa. And that's serious swearing. The M word, man. The M word is not. No.
For real.
But
the B word's the swear word on here. Millwall ain't a swear word, but it's a word we don't say often.
For me, it's But I tell you what, this Palace side reminds me of. The likes of Salako and Gray and Mark Bright and Wright and under Koppel. Like, I saw them like proper live, and the shades. It's deja vu over again. It's giving me chills with the way that they're playing. It's that to me is Palace football. And even back in the 80s with under what's his name, became England manager, Terry Venables. Terry Venables. I remember them from Palace, from them sides where it was gung ho football, and
the team of the 80s, the worst team of the 80s. Worst name. I know. Ever coined.
But
oh my days!
If you caught them on their day, they would rip you a new one.
Oh yeah,
they could lose badly, but you didn't go there underplay. You didn't go there without playing 100%. Otherwise, you're coming away with a bloody nose. And this is what I see from those two eras. I see with this Palace side.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's everything covered.
Exactly. And let me just say, you know why Wilf is being so kind about Crystal Palace? Because he needs to go to Sainsbury's tomorrow to do his show.
Yeah, exactly.
There you
go. It's around the corner, man.
But Nate, I didn't tell you anything. Yeah, man. Like, I saw your results, man. Like, you've been unlucky, man. Like, bottling a 2-goal lead to the worst Everton side in the Prem era. It's embarrassing, right?
I mean, you could say it's embarrassing, but didn't we put you lot in a spliff at Sellers Park, mate?
Yeah, we did.
Didn't you lot get packaged, yeah? You came to the ends and got bounced out, bruv. Don't chat this, bruv.
Yeah, you can't be saying anything because we was in hospital. We was in traction.
Because Wilf, do you know what it is? No, do you know what it is? No, but weeks before the game was like, when we beat Palace, I'm going to come looking for you, this and that. But man went hiding after we beat them. I was like, where's No gone? Where's he gone?
We got slapped around. Social services got called on us, man. Social services got called on us.
Now, do you know what it is? Man got to train the Crystal Palace rather than Sellers, bruv. He went to the wrong side of the train tracks. Get out of here. No, get out of here, bro.
Yeah, guys, what I guys say is don't forget. Let me check another shoddy results you had on your phone, man. Palace, you love have a 4 GD. It could be more based on the chances you created. The 0-0 draw against Leeds, that's disappointing. Considering Leeds were toothless and you sitter after sitter. Newcastle, that game you didn't deserve.
But no, you got to give it to them, man. There, you got to give it to them, man. They remember that everyone forgets they took 4 points off the champions.
You know what I mean?
That's impressive. They went. This is what I'm saying to you. That's why when they beat us,
man,
it ain't no disrespect. Yeah, because it's they're the champions. There's Real Madrid. Real Madrid beat them, and Palace beat them. You've got to give man props for that. You know what I mean? Look at what is happening. Whether I mean, you give teams grief or whatever, but when you see a team on a progression, you got to give it up to them. And what is
Yeah,
going
of
on at
course,
Palace
man.
there is similar to what is happening with us. Teams fear Palace. They're not gonna be. Of course, they're gonna be inconsistent. That's why they're mid-table. But on their day, they rip a man to shreds.
Look, all I'm
And
going to say is
Vieira,
Eze and Elise cost us 24 million. All right,
right
24
there you
M's,
go.
man. Jeez.
How much was
16
Zaha?
million
How
for
much was
Eze,
Zaha?
8 million for Elise.
That's less than me dad's house,
How much
man.
was Zaha? How much was Zaha?
Well, we sold him for 10, bought him back for 6.
So you made
Ooh.
profit.
You made profit on that. And what did you pay for him in the first place?
We didn't
Nothing,
pay
because he
for him
come from
because
your
we.
academy.
You understand?
Exactly, he
Came
come
from
from
the
your academy.
academy.
You know what I mean?
So,
Cost
so
nothing.
they made profit and got him back. And then they
Yeah,
made profit.
exactly.
And only
They got me getting him back.
Yeah.
I have to. I also my boy. He's at Palace at the moment. He's
Oh.
he's in
And
the
yeah,
he's in the
man, I'm
academy.
praising Palace every year, man. I've been ranting and raving about how Vieira
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
this is one
I
of your
bought.
better seasons. Man.
1 second. Hey, Will. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
serious. He really's trying to go chasing. That's what it
Jay
is.
knows it, man. Jay's the
Man,
one
you
that's
can
gonna
go
be
to
looking for
Bossman
me.
shop,
So
bro.
Jay's looking. No.
I've only
No,
seen
exactly,
Will defend
exactly.
Arsenal this much. You know what I mean?
Hey, but listen, what can I say? Listen, we're a welcoming football club. Without welcome, we've got a supermarket in our stadium. Not many teams
There
can
you
say
go.
that.
You call them
Exactly.
charity
Exactly.
professional
Hey.
FC, not me. Your words, not mine. Not me.
Man,
And yet
Big
this
up, Jay,
charity still
man.
took
Big
4
up.
points off the mighty Arsenal tee. So,
Alright, guys. Alright, we're gonna wrap this up now. Thank you to everyone who's joined.
Boys.
Thank you to everybody in the panel. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll start off with you, No, Wilf, and then CM, and then we'll wrap it up. No, big up, man. What's your final words?
man, big up Palace for the good season and everything there, creation and big up. And yeah, man, it's been a tough year, man. And let's go, let's get, as I say.
Big up, Wilf. Thank you as well for coming on, my bro.
Yes. No
Final
worries.
words.
Oh, absolute pleasure. I am so looking forward to next season. I think it's going to be one of the tightest Premier Leagues from top to bottom. And I'm looking for us to get into that fourth spot next season. I'm so optimistic. But I've got to say, it's been great seeing you face to face, CM, and it's been an honor and a pleasure being on here, boys.
Big up, Wilf. Every
well,
single
Wilf,
time.
don't be a stranger.
Big up
Anytime
Wilf,
Get
man.
Amped is on, you know you're welcome.
No worries, man.
Let's hope this is the first of many performances.
Yeah.
Appearances, rather. Why did I say performances? I can't
Yeah.
even English right
New
now.
signing,
Fuck
isn't
me.
it? New signing.
It's been
New
that
signing.
good. It's quite classed as a performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know them one. Man of the match.
No bias at all. No bias. But you know.
No.
CM, my bro, thank you once again for coming on. Final words.
Thank you
and
for
also
having me.
let the people know where they can find you, man.
Listen, thank God the season's done for us. What I'm gonna say is give Rich one more birthday present. Give him that hot chip first and get him to 1,000 subs, because that's how he's gonna obtain that. Eagle Eye Football to 1,000 subs. The road is there. So everybody who's not subscribed right now, get there, and everybody that is, share it out on all social platforms. Thank you
We
for having
soon
me,
we soon reach. Don't worry, we soon reach, and then you're gonna see Rich looking to reach for some water.
Hey,
Big up Rich, bro. Richie Martin and
No, but happy
Nah, I
birthday,
mean-
Rich. By the way, I know he's watching in the
Yeah,
background.
big up
big
Richie
yourself,
Martin,
big up,
guys.
isn't
Happy
he
birthday,
Richie Martin
man.
or something?
what
Huh?
was that?
Richie Martin, innit?
Richie Martin? What Lionel Richie do you mean?
Who you mean, Ricky Martin? Oh, yeah, go.
Ricky Martin.
Bro, Ricky Martin, some Latino brother from America. Rich ain't Latino.
Yeah.
Rich is from
Rich
Ghana, bro.
man, rich man. Happy birthday, bro. Know what I mean?
Oh my word.
And Nate,
Rich
my bro,
burrito.
you know what I mean? We are up on the home of Eagle Eyed. And do you know what? Because when you get 1,000, I think personally, you should be joining Rich with that one chip challenge. That's my thoughts. I don't know.
Me and JC have got our own separate milestones that we have to do a forfeit on, but Rich volunteered to go first.
That's
All
fair.
right.
That's fair.
Okay.
I think
Plus, bear in mind, there's 2 others on the channel as well, so it's not just the 3 of us.
Yeah, true. That's true. Because I thought you win together, you lose together, you draw. I thought it was them side.
Oh no, listen, we'll be there to support him, but he wants to do this on his own.
Fair enough. He wants to take the fall for you guys. Fair enough, man.
He's taking the penny.
Hey, listen,
He's taking the final pen.
Listen, this brother put his mouth and his backside on the line. I have nothing to do with that. He voted to do this thing. I had nothing to do with it. So I said, listen, on you, bruv. I'm not getting involved.
They've got their own personal milestones. We found out now, Brush. But we need to get to 1,000 first, and then we'll see.
Listen. There's me and JC have already. We've had to talk about it because they're going to come soon, you know. I mean, bear in mind, we've got to go over a couple of things about Roast Week because Statman Dan and Nikki, they've got to do a bit of a Roast Week session because, boy.
Hey, there you go, people. Nate as well, wonderful co-host. He's always welcome. I always love coming on the channel. It's a big pleasure to you and Rich and JC and all the other guys at Eagle Eye Football, man.
Yeah, of course. You know what it is, Eagle Eyed Football. We'll be here all throughout the summer. JC's going to be having his transfer show. Me and Statman Dan are doing a game-by-game season breakdown. So we'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and just a little teeny tiny win over a couple of the big boys who got a bit of a bloody nose when they came to the end. More importantly, though, listen, it's been a wonderful season for us. Not so much for other people. But the important thing is we're all enjoying it together. We'll see you next season. And up the Palace.
We'll see you.
Love, people. Yeah. We're out. Peace.
Let's go.